Welcome everyone to my pretty much finished upstairs renovation. So, what's done? Floors, insulation, drywall, paint, doors, walls, almost everything, windows. Moving up here, electrical, plumbing, almost all the plumbing. But a lot of stuff is done. We've been living up here about a month now. My son was born over a month ago, and we've been up in the upstairs living and using it as a master for about 7 days more than he's been alive. So we cut it very close coming down to the wire. We needed to have this done and the downstairs bedroom, new bedroom for my daughter, which used to be the master, all done before he was born, and able to have another human in this house, and we got it done. So still things on the list, the non-critical list, that are remaining. But we're up here. We got the bed, the AC's working, electrical's working, bathroom is 2/3 done, and we're really enjoying it. So let's take a look. So all the drywall's done. We had that subcontracted out. Pretty straightforward. They did 5/8 inch drywall on all of the angled ceilings because we had a lot of insulation kind of pushing against it. And to keep it from sagging, they did the 5/8 inch. The ceiling and the vertical walls are all 1/2 inch. There's one area here where we had to do some little creative work. This ceiling could not be pulled out any further because the door would have hit it. As it stands right now, there's about a 3/16 inch gap between the door and the ceiling. So very, very close. So we couldn't bump this out. So this has less insulation. We also have this kind of little bulkhead effect. This is a main rafter that goes up to support the roof. Previously, this was exposed on the original design of this upstairs renovation. Of the upstairs before we started renovating. And it was really nice to get it all enclosed because it was in real poor shape. It was still the real rough sawn board. They didn't sand it or anything. They just painted over the straight from the mill saw. And it's not what you get nowadays in a 2x6. That's 120-year-old board. But other than that, we're very happy with it. All of my work to try to keep the walls as straight as possible ended up being pretty good. There's only so much I can do. If the board is warped, I took the measurement at one point to try to get everything in line. So if it warped above or below that, we still have some undulation. And you can only ever really see that when all the lights are off except for one, and you kind of get a raking light along it. Or when you're looking right down a specific corner very hard, which is what I do all the time. Very happy with the drywall. Texture was good. Once we got the drywall going after the permit issue and everything like that, it went really quick. It was hung in 2 days, mudded in 3 days, and textured in half a day. And so we're very happy with that. And we painted it. One coat of primer, which it really just sucked up. We had to go get 5 gallons for 500 square feet. And then a couple coats of the top coat and on the walls and the ceiling. The closet and the office, which you'll see later, are just white. We didn't paint those blue, but this main area here is blue. And it's really nice. We get a lot of natural light from a nice big window, and a couple lights up here helps everything out. So the real hero in this whole thing is this air conditioning unit. It's currently 98 degrees outside here in July, which is nice and hot. We got a lot of surface area, a lot of roof heating up from the sun, beating down us. We actually turned it off today for a little bit and realized that we really needed the air conditioner. So this thing is running, it's running full blast right now. I'm sure you can hear it a little bit, but it keeps it really, really nice and toasty, or really nice and cool. When you have the blackout shades pulled, it almost seems like a basement. It's nice and cool. It's the coolest part of our house right now because it's the only part that's air conditioned. If we keep the door open to downstairs, then the stairwell feels nice too, but You can also see that we got doors installed. We went with 3-panel kind of craftsman looking doors. Solid doors, not hollow core, especially here on the office to try to cut down on some of the noise. You can see that we don't have the trim up yet. That's one of the non-mission critical things that are left. But we did fill it with expanding foam to try to cut down on the noise leakage. We also have the sound deadening insulation in this wall, all in an effort to try to keep the noise coming from the office when I'm editing videos late at night or playing Overwatch or whatever, to keep the noise down so my wife can sleep. It does a pretty good job. It's not perfect. The trim will help a little bit, but not much. But it's certainly doable. Still have to wear the headphones. Can't be playing the speakers and the subwoofer or anything like that. But we're happy with the doors. We bought them pre-painted from Home Depot. Not too thrilled with the quality of the paint job, i.e. it's not fully finished. And then we paid extra money to have the doors painted, but they didn't paint the trim. They didn't even prime the trim. And that seems wrong to me. You buy a pre-hung door that's primed, you'll get primed trim and door. But if you get the door painted, they just don't do the jam. So I don't really understand that. So that's another step we have to do. We have to prime that first before painting it. We were going to have to paint it anyway, and I understand that, and that's fine. But now we have to prime it as well. It's just another, unfortunately, it's another opportunity for me to drip paint on my floor. And just more work for me to do that I don't really want to do. One of the first things we did was get the closet installed because we had a bunch of crap we needed to move from downstairs to upstairs, and we didn't really have anywhere to put it. So let's go take a look at the closet. So it had kind of a unique issue because we have these really sloped ceilings that we had less hanging space than we normally would like. So we tried to optimize it as best as possible. The clothes are just barely not touching the floor on this one, and we put shoe storage up above that. We can't put another one up above it. So this is kind of it for this wall, which is our biggest wall. So it's, you know, a little difficult to get a lot of stuff on there. On this side, though, we were able to get two hanging things. So we'll be able to double up here. We've got bins there right now. These are mostly to hold the things that are going to eventually go into the built-in that is down at this end and behind the door. Those aren't in yet. That's pieces of furniture that I haven't made. And then here's the store the tall stuff, wife's dresses and things like that. So we've got 4 hanging racks. We're going to have a built-in shelf unit essentially down here, cabinet unit. And then we'll have one behind the door as well. Just using this plastic one for now. This will be more shoe storage and kind of things you don't use as much because it's annoying to be behind the door. And then we'll probably have the mirror mounted on the back of the door. And yeah, one last little thing, trim work. I got to close up the attic access. Probably losing some cool air into there, but we're doing okay. Very happy with how this turned out, especially since it only took me like an afternoon to do it. And able to get into studs that I knew exactly where they were. They were every 16 inches. And my wife was very happy to have this up and running as soon as we did. So just a few more things in here, and the closet is done. One light up above gives us more than enough room in here, or light in here. We keep the door open pretty much all day and all night, and that allows the cool air to filter in here and keep it just fine in here. It's really never going to be warm in here, as warm as other places, because the sun is... This is the north wall, so this doesn't get nearly as much sun as the other one. Through this door is my office. So you'll be seeing a lot more of this in the future, but it's nice to have my own space finally. That's not also a storage area. That's not also a laundry room. That's not also a mud room. It's very nice to have this. I haven't had much time to be up in here because I've got the new kid, but I'll be spending a lot of time in here in the future. This is the smallest room in the upstairs. It's got a gable end where we have a window, which is nice. We got a nice new window in there, so it's nice and sealed. We've got this peaked roof, which is essentially my height. So we'll be able to put some stuff in here, and I won't really bang my head too much. We've got the old computer desk, tons of outlets, tons of connectivity. We've got 3 separate Ethernet ports up here. We'll have the printer down there, file cabinet. The one thing that really needs to be done up here soon because of the podcast, these nice bare walls really, really like to echo. So I've closed the door and now it's really quite echoey in here. So we're going to go back outside so I can talk a little nicer. But yeah, we got the soundproofing in the door, around the door, and in the walls to try to keep the noise down as much as possible. Really looking forward to using this space. So the last area to talk about is the bathroom, which is the most unfinished of everything up here. You can see there's no door. We're still trying to figure out the configuration. We don't quite know that, and we're kind of apprehensive to try to spend money on buying a door and having it not work and stuff like that. But the tile is in, vanity's in, and the toilet is in. So 2 of the 3 main fixtures are in. The only thing left is the shower. You'll see that it's still to studs with insulation and all my tools. That's where I'm storing my tools, so it kind of looks like a rat hole right now. But look at the nicer things, not the bad stuff. So here's our tile. It's a very nice design that my wife picked out, and it's on the diagonal. Little more of a pain to put in, but it actually didn't turn out to be too bad. We bought the shortest toilet you could buy, in terms of from the wall to the front of the toilet to give us the most possible room in here. And we're happy with that so far. The ceilings, we were able to put the fan, and then right above me is the light. There's ample room in here. I'll probably hit my head on the sloped walls once or twice, but that's okay. And then my shame is I did not have the time to make a vanity, so we ended up buying a vanity. We bought a top and a vanity, put those in, and we were able to get those in an afternoon as opposed to a couple weeks of me making stuff. So trying to keep everything moving and keep the wife happy and keep my plate as empty as possible for the things that we really need me to do. But yeah, even the plumbing works. Look at that. Yeah. Not as snazzy as Jeff's foot punt and his bust, but you know, okay. Yeah. So the plan for the shower is to have a shower head on this side. We've got a bench seat over here, and then we're going to probably try to get, we're going to have to be a custom glass door to do this surround, kind of this weird shape. We're probably going to put a hand shower on a rail that goes up here that sprays kind of into the middle. And then we're going to tile it in. So that's another big project still remaining. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it and see a video of it in the future. Well, that's the nickel tour of the upstairs. Very happy with how everything's turned out. Took a lot longer than expected. You can hear about that in our latest podcast. I kind of go over a recap of the project, what I learned, what I would do differently, what I would do the same. So check that out anywhere you download your podcast, DIomgY, and you can hear that. But, you know, just a few more things to do. Trim, heaters, and the shower, and that's it. The shower's a big one, but the trim and the heaters aren't, and we're going to try to get those done as soon as possible. Try to keep the projects going, keep the momentum going if there is any left. You know, we've got the 2 kids now as opposed to the 1, and, you know, time is very thin. But appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the breadth of this project from start to finish. Sorry the videos have been few and far between, but we're going to get back on schedule, back on projects. Make sure you check out the podcast. Subscribe if you liked this video. Give us a like. Comment if you have any questions. And we'll see you later.